welcome to a really fun crochet party. I am so excited. We're gonna have lots of prizes in the end. How's it going, everyone? I would love to know if you were part of this mystery crochet along right here, and I'm gonna show some of you guys off in just a second. I would love for you guys for now to tell me, are you or did you finish this mystery crochet along? If you were part of it, please tell me if you are, because I have seen so many crocheters working on this. It is absolutely mind-blowing how many crocheters were not only part of this, but they also finished it. And I have this feeling so many of you guys learned so many different tips throughout this mystery crochet along. Let's summarize for a second some of the tips that you have learned in this mystery crochet along. In part one, you started with a round that didn't have a circle first. It was an open circle pretty much, so an open round where you had to make a longer chain and connect it. Now that was your very first tip right there, to make sure it's not twisted, right? Because how many times have we had this where we have to make a big circle with a chain and then we need to connect it and like, oh, it's twisting, right? So you learned how to have a long chain, connect the first with the last stitch together without it being twisted at all. Then you learned right away different types of alternative turning chains, and I also told you which ones I prefer. It's actually just one that I prefer over any of the others, and I showed you why. Now that doesn't mean you don't have to use, it doesn't mean you have to use my version. You can use any of the other versions as well. I just explained to you why I preferred one over the other. It just looks cleaner that way, in my opinion. But again, it's my opinion. You may have a different opinion, right? Now, on top of that, you also learned how to connect the first and last stitch together with the invisible slip stitch. I have seen some of you guys called invisible join. Don't get it confused. That is a totally different thing. There's the invisible slip stitch and there's the invisible join. With the invisible join, you are not using a hook at all. You're using a tapestry needle and you actually are sewing it, and you're kind of kind of like imitating a stitch. That's kind of what it looks like. So connecting it invisibly, but it's usually at the very end when you finish your project. Now, I didn't emphasize that here, but I just want to explain the difference between the invisible slip stitch and the invisible join. Okay, just that you know there's a difference. Then in part two, we worked on circles, and I explained to you how to get started with the magic ring, different types of magic rings. I actually made a separate video on social media, a shortened version that has an additional tip in there. Did you guys see it? There's actually 3 different ways to make a ring. So you can start with a chain ring, meaning you make like a certain amount of chains, let's say 3 or 4 chains. You connect the first with the last chain together, and then you crochet into the space created between, you know, like in the center of it. So that's a chain ring, right? Then we also have the first stitch chain, or the first chain magic ring, which is usually known as the alternative magic ring. That's the one I showed you in part 2. And then we also talked about the actual magic ring or magic circle, however you want to call it. It has 2 names. It really doesn't matter, does it? Then we also talked about in part 2, ooh, I have a hair in my eye. Whoops. Okay, then we also talked about in part 2 how to make sure that you have a flat circle as well as an actual rounded circle. Now, I told you why I went sometimes with the hexagon, which in my opinion is sometimes very useful, right? You learned how to count your stitches in case that was not mentioned in the pattern, because it happens, okay? The designer may have forgotten it, or it was on purpose not written down. Either way, you now know how to count your stitches no matter what, right? And you also learned how to make it into an actual circle if you don't prefer to do the hexagon style. Either way, there was a lot of tips included in part 2 as well. Then in part 3, we talked about how to connect 2 different yarn weights together, because it is possible, right? It may not be very good in certain projects. I'll be honest with that, because there are some gaps, because obviously DK yarn is thinner than bulky yarn, but in my opinion, this looked really good. And if you want that little bit of a strip, right, you want like a little bit of an emphasis of a different color, and you can see that right here, right, is with the like ombre variegated yarn. It allowed me to have like little stitches in between big stitches, so you have that eye-catching effect. You also learned how to do the spike stitch. You learned how to do the third loop behind the V and how to kind of go about doing the insert part of it, adding a plastic canvas on the inside if you wish to do so, and of course how to finish it up with the divider, which has obviously a giant pocket on the inside. And I've seen some of you guys actually make it into multiple pockets, you know, and inside I told you guys to just, you know, seam it close. Some of you guys made it into like an additional pocket where they can put their hooks in it. I love that. I didn't even think about that. Then some of you guys added some flowers to it and buttons and beads and all kinds of other things. I've seen drawstrings. I've seen, what was the other thing? Oh, straps. I've seen straps added onto it. You guys did an amazing, amazing job. Let me show some of you guys off because you are worth being shown off. So this is everything from like part 1 all the way up to part 3, which obviously some of it, you know, if you just post it, it may not be in here because I screen recorded this about an hour ago to make sure I catch as many of you guys as possible. But look at this, how many you guys posted into the group, and look at all these baskets. Look at all these varieties of baskets. You guys did an amazing job. I am so proud of you, and I believe you should be proud of yourself as well. Did you guys like it? I see some of you guys really loving it. Okay, we have really, this is a good project. Like, you could use this in so many varieties of ways. I have seen some of you guys turn this into a basket for a, let's say, guest bathroom, you know, some spa things in there, right? I've seen some of you guys add all your crochet knickknacks in there. I love it. There was a few other things. I think someone put their dog in it. I guess the dog claimed it now. If I would have put it on the ground, I'm sure my cat would have claimed it too. But I've seen so many of you guys talk about how you loved it. Karen really enjoyed the tips videos. I tried following along. And you use super bulky number 6 yarn. That works too. I mean, it makes the entire thing bigger, but that works as well. It looks like you guys all loved it. Or cat bed, yes. Donna says, I love this. It's something I can really use. I am so glad. I love making baskets. Let me know if you love making baskets too, because oh my gosh, these are so fun. And you guys know I kind of try to think outside of the box. Physically, mentally, outside of the basket, if you want to call it that way, right? Because sometimes you just want to have something extra. You want it to be unique and multifunctional. I love making baskets that are multifunctional. Seriously, I mean, they're so amazing. My cat is dying in my baskets. That is so funny. Sarah Lynn is just smiling along. I love it. Lisa said it's so useful. Brenda says, loved everything. Just getting on the road, so we'll be listening. I am so glad you're here. Be careful. I hope you're not the one driving. I hope you have someone who's driving for you. Tracy says she loves making baskets too. Yes, baskets are so, so useful. For sure. I am so glad you guys all agreeing with this because we have a blast. I mean, this was so fun. All these different tips that you learned while making this really fun project. I know there was some of you guys that have messaged me and emailed me. It's like, oh, I wish I would have known it was such a fun project. I would have started from the beginning. You guys, I do mystery crochet alongs all the time, every single month, and they have a different theme. So yeah, if you love making mystery crochet along patterns, you know my patterns are pretty good, I must say so myself. At least you guys are all saying that. So I think it's really fun, and usually we have a blast. So I personally think it's always a good idea to join us. You always learn something. Am I right? Seriously, we have a fun time. Okay. Emily says, this was the best basket pattern I have found. I love it. I love that. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. I personally think it's a very useful little basket. I'm going to use it a lot now because now I can kind of separate out my yarn skeins. I have my hooks and all kind of my notions kind of in the center. And if I feel like, you know, I'm not going to use it right now for a yarn project, I can take the divider out and I can just use it for something else. Potentially my cat will use it, but that's not the point. All right. I am so glad you guys all enjoyed it. This makes me so happy. But I have a few questions for you guys. Are you guys ready? Because these are some questions that are related to tips. Okay. So I want you to really dig into your little noggin, your little yarn noggin right here. And I want you to tell me and answer me this question. Okay. Or it's, well, kind of like a prompt, I guess. There's no question mark. Well, I'm going to consider it a question, whatever. Name something that is frustrating when you crochet. I want to know. If you are thinking back of all the many projects you have done, what is something that you keep thinking about that is frustrating for you? Like, oh my God, I'm not talking about the tips that you just learned, you know, where you're like, oh, I'm good to go on those. I'm talking about additional things that frustrate you. I want to know from you, what is something that frustrates you when you crochet? All right, let me go back. I seen some of you guys' comments here. Someone was talking about the prism. What did I miss about the prism? Let's see. Someone was struggling with the prism yarn. It's a little fuzzy. It can have been frustrating. It can be hard to frog too. Be careful on that. But yeah, sometimes that is a little frustrating. So I get that. No worries about that. It comes with practice, okay? And you can always cut and restart, you know, if needs to be. Okay, so let me show some of you guys off because I totally get the frustration because I've been there. You know, we're not born to be a designer. We all learn at the very beginning, right? We're all the same. So let me show you guys off here. Okay, so Donna says when something is bunched up. So I assume you're talking about, let's say, circles, right? When they kind of turn into a flower type of thing, right? Like the wave, right? I assume that's what you're talking about. Or spike stitches, you know, when it's crunched up, like the way I taught you in the mystery crochet along. Emily has a good one. Well, I don't have a solution for that, Emily. Ooh, you might have to kind of take off and go to the next cafe over, right? Let's see. Natalie says sometimes yarn splits and it breaks if it's thin. I get that. Patterns can be hard to follow. That is definitely a big one. It really depends on the designer. I totally get that. Loretta's saying gauge sometimes frustrates me when I make adjustments with the hook size and whatever is suggested to fix the gauge. I get that as well. That's usually the hardest one to fix. So I totally get that. Tina is saying losing count. Ooh, this is a big one. I totally agree with that. Karen says I'm frustrated when I'm interrupted counted. Well, that is a hard one. I would say my only solution for that is put something in your ears and ignore the rest of the world. That's usually what I do. I put something in my ears and listen to something. Tracy says splitting the yarn, especially cotton. Well, it's not just cotton yarn, I have noticed. There's other yarns that are usually slippery or novelty yarns do that. Okay, Crafty Christy is saying, not liking my work, but everyone else likes it. I'm hard on myself. I think most people are hard on themselves, and I do the same. So I think this is a human thing. I don't think there is really a fix to it besides just mental exercises and just remembering that everything is unique, personal to your preferences with your personal touch. Okay, it's totally fine. Losing count, that is a big one. It looks like many of you guys are saying this. Weaving and ends, of course. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up. There was a few of them that I missed here. Let's see. It looks like keeping the right count. Okay. Snags, splitting yarn. Definitely. It seems like a reoccurring thing here. Let's see. Gauge is another one. Wow. I'm very surprised. So many have the same. Frogging. Where's the trouble in the frogging? How far to frog? Or the frogging itself? Then it probably depends on the yarn, I assume. Tension is the same as gauge in this case. So this looks like definitely a reoccurrence here. We should maybe talk about gauge a little bit more. This seems like something you guys really interested in. Let's see. Yarn splitting again, not finishing a project. Oh yes, the amount of whips we have. Oh boy, the amount of whips we have. Nobody wants to look into our, the phrase, a skeleton closet. We have a whip closet, don't we? We have a whip closet. We all do. Please tell me I'm not the only one, okay? It's usually in a box in a closet somewhere. Losing my place in a pattern. Yes, that's a big one. Let's see. Forgetting adding my stitch marker, Tracy is saying, and continues rounds. Oh yes, the amount of times I forgot now when I was a beginner. Oh my gosh, I was like, how do people do it? And I was like, oh, there's something called a stitch marker. I remember when I learned. Oh yeah, those were things. Linda says finding knots in yarn. That actually reminds me also on making knots. That's another one that I have noticed that some crocheters have trouble with. Let me know if that's you, is actually making a good knot that holds, right? Yes, knots will always be kind of visible. There's ways to kind of, weave them in as we go, but it's still kind of there. So yes, I feel that, okay? Let's see. Dawn says I have several closets. Brenda says measuring the chain of the length and you start crocheting project size that does not match the original starting chain. This is something I actually noticed in part 1 with some of you guys, and you may have seen some pictures where like the rectangular part that you guys were supposed to make in part 1, right? The insert part, which was, if you make it flat, it looked like a rectangle. Well, it was supposed to look like a rectangle. I've noticed that some of you guys, it looked like almost like a bowl shape that doesn't have a bottom, right? So I have noticed that tension issue there, definitely. Okay, let's see. I don't know how to read a pattern. That's another one I have noticed. Measuring, oh, I already did this one. Making knots and joining yarn, yes. Okay, let me show you guys, show some of the answers off that I have gotten in the past when I asked this question. So let me know if you agree with some of these. So these are some of the examples I have found, okay? Uneven edges. This is a big one for beginners, like uneven. And when I say uneven, it typically means that the crocheter didn't count their stitches. This is usually a big one, which means they just go back and forth in crochet without counting, and then like everything is uneven. I don't understand. And that's usually because they didn't count, or they are not used to yet how the stitches look like, right? You know what I'm talking about. In the very beginning, we didn't even know as a beginner. Please tell me I'm not the only one, because as a beginner, I was so confused about turning chains. Do I go into it? Do I ignore them? What do I do with those things? Like, why are they even there? Right? Those are the things that, oh my gosh, it drove me crazy as a beginner. Once I learned what it is and how this all means and what can I do about it, yes, I have a much more relaxing crochet experience. But in the very beginning, uneven edges, oh, that was frustrating. The next thing was uneven seams. The amount of comments I get for uneven seams, like stitches going in a slant, or even having visible seams that is kind of related to the transition part right here, right? Like visible ones, slip stitch versus invisible slip stitch kind of thing, right? Where you can actually see what the transition is. The same is true with the colors, like seeing the color transitions. Like if it's supposed to be there, great. But if it's uneven and zigzaggy, it looks weird, right? The other one is visible knots, right? I'm not just talking about the knots that come within a yarn skein that you have no control over. You can just cut it out and make your own. I'm also talking about knots that you make yourself, and then they're visible, right? Then the next one is trying to block or take care of the fabric. So I want to kind of confirm what for you guys, or not confirm, define what fabric is. Fabric is something that you created with your hands using yarn and a hook. The same is true for knitting. Anything you create and that is turned into something that is, let's say, something you could be wearing or whatever, or putting a blanket, right? You are creating fabric. A lot of you guys don't think about that. This is one of the things I've noticed. When I say fabric, people immediately think of sewing, like the thin things that we add, the fabric, the sewing fabric, the cotton fabric, the super thin one that we add for lining on something. Fabric is anything created with thread or yarn that is even other things, right? We know that you can even use plastic. Like, plastic bags turned into yarn called plarn, right? Anything that creates some kind of 2D layer or even 3D layer is considered a fabric. So you are creating fabric actually, okay? The other one is picking colors. Which colors are great to be combined, right? Substituting yarn and stitches. That's another one. I'm not just talking about substituting yarn, which most crocheters know there is a website that you can look up what you can substitute yarn with, but it kind of doesn't tell you all the details on what you should be thinking about when you substitute yarn. The other one is stitches, okay? If you're like, oh, I love this pattern, but I don't like the stitch. What can I do to substitute it, right? Or joining crochet fabric pieces. See, I put the fabric in there again, so you remember it's a fabric that you're creating, right? Joining them together. So whether that is for granny squares, for example, or whether it is seaming, garments or something like that, joining pieces. You can do that with crochet and you can do this with a needle, right? Then adding buttonholes and buttons, and then keeping track of progress, your stash, etc. That's just 10 examples right here. Of course, there's a million others, right? Let's see. Figuring out the stitch placement on both sides of the borders. Oh, this is a big one. I have seen that so many times. I have an answer for that. We'll get to it. Then also how to correctly color change, Cheryl says. Yes. Lina says, too many whips. Too many whips. Emily says, I think the issue with turning chains is the inconsistency of use. I agree with that. But here's the thing, regardless of what the pattern says, if you understand the purpose behind it and whether it's counted as a stitch or not, you should be able to make it the way you prefer, meaning use an alternative turning chain if you must, right? Or substitute it out in any other way. As long as you know the stitch count and the purpose of it, you should be good to go. Some patterns say turning chains count as stitches, some don't, and then it can be confusing. I totally agree. The worst part of it is if they don't tell you when it's counted as a stitch. That is the worst one. That's the worst one even for me, because then I have to figure it out and kind of count my stitches constantly and figure out, are they counting, are they not? So I get that. Tammy says picking colors. Yes, still definitely picking colors. Other people pick colors that look great, but mine, this is a mental thing again, because my feeling is even whatever you're picking is usually something that your gut is telling you. Mentally you feel like you're aiming for it. But yes, there are some theories and some things that you can do to make things look better. So yes, we'll talk about that. Claudia says still can't read graphs. That's a big one. I totally understand that. It really depends on the graph, right? Because it depends on the purpose. Like, what is the graph for? Is it for corner to corner, mosaic crochet, fillet crochet? So many different techniques use graphs. You got to know what is the graph for, and then you can learn how to read it, right? So it really all comes down to it. Sarah says, practice, practice, practice. Yes, that all comes with practice for sure, but you have to have the knowledge first. Am I right? The knowledge is the one. Christy says, I need help with how to keep yarns from getting so tangled when using one or more types of yarn. Yes, we can definitely talk about that. In fact, I was thinking about maybe tomorrow doing like a whole session on just yarn. Okay, how do you feel about that? Like talk about the different types of fabrics, different types of fibers, like really go in depth about yarn. And then we can talk about too, how to get it not from tangled and things like tools that you can use. We should do that. What do you guys think about that? Should we do like a whole session on yarn? Oh, that would be fun. All right, now we talked about all these frustrations. I have something for you that is considered your one solution for all. How do you feel about that? Okay, so it is really your solution. I have this feeling some of you guys were like, oh my gosh, seriously, there's a solution for my issues? Like someone is listening to me? Are you here in my room? Do you know my problems? We all went through them. We're all the same. Can you imagine now always having a crochet solution at your fingertips, literally the tip of your finger, like a cherry on top. Can you imagine that? I see so many of you guys say, yes, let's talk about yarn. Okay, we're definitely going to do that tomorrow. I have this feeling you guys are really going to enjoy that. Okay, so if you want your crochet solution at the tip of your finger, then listen up. We're going to go through a couple more questions and then I'll show you the solution, because the reasons I'm showing you first some questions is because I need you to understand all the features you're getting with it. Because if you have that in your mind, you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I want. That's my feeling, but hey, I could be completely wrong. Okay, now that you have all these frustrations, I have this feeling you're going to want more crochet tips. Am I right? I have this feeling like, okay, I learned a lot in the mystery crochet along, but I want more, right? I mean, once you kind of get the taste of learning tips really quickly, easily, and just really all in one space, like literally within the last week, you have learned so much. I mean, this short period of time, can you imagine just really getting into it and learning all the tips and then really perfecting your crochet? Can you imagine that? I mean, I can totally see all of you feeling like you're the biggest smile on your face. That's all you want. Am I right? Let's go to the next question, which is kind of related to this. Okay. And then that is, if you get a tips book, obviously, do you want detailed instructions and large font? This is a big one. It's the large font is a big one. Most books don't have large font. Am I right? Oh my gosh, that can be very, very frustrating when you have a book and it's like teeny tiny, right? And then instructions are very vague. Yeah, that can be frustrating. Okay, I see a quick question here from Dina. It says, I don't like corner to corner. Is there a way to do a graph without doing corner to corner? Yes, and we'll talk about that, Dina. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that. All right, let's go to the next question as we're going through this. And I see a lot of yeses. The amount of yeses I see, oh my gosh, I can't even count. Okay, here's the next question. If you would have a book like that, do you want the tips, if it's a digital book, in this case called an ebook, right? With clickable video tutorials and materials. So when I say materials, I'm talking about tools that you can use to improve your crochet, right? It doesn't have to be like, here's a pattern kind of thing. I'm really talking about, hey, these are the tools Nikki uses. Where can I get them, right? And instead of just telling you know, here's the name and here's a picture, I actually give you a link for it. Might as well. And if I have a coupon code, might as well give you that too, right? You never know whether you're going to use it or not, right? But the most important thing is clickable video tutorials. Oh my gosh, can you imagine being so frustrating when you have like some kind of book and it doesn't allow you to click, and then you have to actually type it up, and most of the video tutorials have some weird letter combination and number combination. Nobody does that, right? Seriously, we want to be able to click. Click, 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 click. Instant gratification, right? All right, next question. We have 2 more to go. We have also the ability for you to get printable templates. How would you like that? I'm seriously talking about templates like charts, journals, guides, anything that can help you in your crochet journey be better. I mean, I absolutely love planners and journals. Don't even talk with my husband about the amount of journals I have. My hubby's like, every time we go to a bookstore, stop buying journals. Okay, I get it. Half of them are not used because they look too pretty to be used. But that's not the point. I'm talking about the ones that you actually can use to improve your crochet. Can you imagine that? I mean, seriously, anything that is with large font that you can use. And by the way, that includes counters. Since you guys were talking about counters, yes, counters. And I'll show it to you too, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's the last question. Okay, if you get a book, you of course want it to be ad-free, printer-friendly, and have a clickable table of content. Wouldn't you want that? I have this feeling you all do. Okay, so I'm gonna pop it up because you guys are gonna be surprised and have this feeling you guys are gonna be blown away, because you know I have a tips ebook, but you don't know that I just updated it. Okay, I added more than double the amount of content to it, and that includes templates. Okay, it is enormous. Is that a word? Enormous? Anyways, let me show you. Okay, it comes with more than 900, let that sink in for a second. Over 900 crochet tips and tricks, obviously, with 50 printable templates. And no worries, I'm going to show you in detail so you know what I'm talking about. And it comes with more than 100 video tutorials on 284 pages. Yes, that's almost 300 pages. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. And remember I said large font? This is why it's a big ebook. Because the font is size 14 on average here, so you can really read it. And do you see the amount of pictures we have in there? Okay, and then you see those colored words? Those are typically clickable. So yeah, you have quite a bit of information here. Can you imagine having all that? That would be really cool, right? Over 900 tips. Okay, so I want to kind of show you some of the templates. Here's a little sneak peek into it. There's more than 50 templates, and I'm talking about counters too, like stitch counters that you can use over and over again. So for example, what I would do personally, and I mentioned that in here too, is I would print it out, laminate it, and then you can use it over and over again with a dry erase marker. Yes, you don't have to reprint it out. I mean, save some paper, save some ink, save money and the environment all at the same time. So all you got to do is print one of these out, or multiple of them. In fact, I would even print out all of them and then laminate it in certain ways so you can reuse it over and over and over again. And I literally made it for you. I love this counter the most right here. Excuse me. Oh, I had a bubble in my throat. Hang on a sec. Did you guys hear that? Okay, this number 2 right here that you see, the second one, is my favorite because I can really do this until over 1,000 stitches. I think it is almost 2,000 stitches that you can do with just that one, because you can check it off and you can just recheck it off every time you go up into the next row or round or wherever you are. And it's absolutely so cool to use this. It also comes with all kinds of trackers, and I even added like little images so you can make measurements for yourself, so you can add your own information to it. So here's an example for t-shirt. So let's say you're working on a garment, a pattern, you can measure yourself, you write all the measurements down so you know exactly what you need to work with when you go through a pattern, right? Then also, how much yarn do I actually need? Then again, how do I take care of it once I have it, right? Then of course the color wheel and all kinds of others. This is just a sneak peek. This is more than 50 printable templates. Can you imagine having all of that? Okay, I want to show you. I see some of you guys saying I need it all. Yes, I need it all too. I feel ya. Okay, cool. Great idea. It is totally cool. Arrow, I think Arrow is your name, yeah? Am I saying this right, Arrow? Hopefully. Okay, I am so glad. Donna says, wow, this is all awesome. It'd be so helpful. It is really, really helpful. And I actually want to show you kind of the inside of it. So let's go through some of the table of content, because I think that's going to be the most helpful information right in this instant to understand what you're getting. So this is the ebook cover, just that you guys know. Crochet Tips Made Easy, Crochet Tips and Tricks Made Easy, with over 900. I added a plus, okay? Over 900 crochet. I wanted a nice number. That's why I said it that way. It's more than 900. More than 900 crochet tips and tricks, more than 50 templates that you can print out, more than 100 video tutorials that you can tap and enjoy and learn from, okay? So let's go through the table of content, because this is something that you're going to be interested in. We're talking about 3 pages full of table of content. This is page 1 of the table of content, okay? So let's go through how it's broken down, okay? Obviously, you have right in the beginning the most commonly used tips that I use, so that way you can jump to it and you know exactly what I use very often. Everything is clickable here. This is a table of content that you can click and jump, right? We don't want to have to scroll through everything. You can click and jump, right? So the very first subject, or I should call it chapter, they're all kind of broken up in different colors, right? So before you even start crocheting, what should you know? Okay, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, I personally think this is a great one to go through, and you will probably find some tips and tricks throughout that you have never heard of before. I have this feeling, right? So here's just some of the titles of each of them, okay? The crochet history. How many of you guys know the history of crochet? this feeling you don't. Or the benefits of crochet. I have this feeling some of you guys may really want to know about that one. Then, of course, answering some questions like, can I bring a hook on a plane? You should probably know that before you start crocheting, right? Can I take it with me on my travels? This is also a big one, and I kind of explain it in detail, is can you replicate crochet with a machine? The short answer is no, but I talk about right now in this subject right here, why? Why can it not be replicated? Which is a good thing for you, right? You don't have to worry about that AI or some machines are going to take over. No worries about the crochet part. You're good to go. And even if they do, it's always going to be wrong. You need an actual human to do this, right? So then you, of course, have toys, the safety of toys, right? For pets, for babies. You kind of want to need to know about that. Then how do I organize my patterns or pattern notes tips? Learn to read a pattern, hook organization, video tips for lefties. Of course, we want that. You know this one though. I did mention that in part 1. Then we also have tools a crocheter carries with them. There's a bunch of tools that I absolutely love and use all the time, so I mention them here. You might find something you've never used before, right? Fun facts about crochet hooks that you may not know. Then yarn versus hook experiment. This is a big one, and this comes back to gauge actually. Okay, that is really a good experiment to go through. I use different types of yarn, okay, different types of hook sizes with the exact same pattern. What's the effect of it? Meaning, can you substitute yarn and hook sizes to still get the same, dimensions of your project, but it's still going to be different yarn. So for example, if the pattern calls for, let's say, bulky yarn, right? Let's say it's bulky yarn and a specific hook size. Can I use DK for it and get the same measurements, right? This is what I'm talking about, that comparison. So, and it's possible, by the way. It's going to look slightly different, but like the tension-wise different, but it's possible. Then also we have some tips to remember: hook size, yarn organization, finger crochet. How many of you guys have tried that before? Then we have 6 different ways to start a crochet chain. Yarn bobbin tips. That's just in the very beginning right here, right? Then we go into yarn. Some of this we're going to talk about tomorrow. Some, not all of it. This is quite a bit of information in terms of yarn. Okay, like what is the difference between all the different fibers? And then what if you have yarn that has no label? How do you figure out the yarn type? You can figure out the yarn weight very quickly, but also what is the fiber content? And there are tests that you can do. This is all included here. Then it's talking about yarn colors too, demystifying yarn colors and learning how to combine your colors. Some of you guys were asking about that. Am I right? Then of course, yarn is not just yarn, mix it up. What else can you use to turn something into yarn, right? The perfect yarn and yarn splitting. I know, the yarn splitting. Why does it split? Some of you guys really need to know why, and you're going to appreciate yarn a lot more once you do. Then of course, how to handle novelty yarn. I'm talking about slippery yarn. I'm talking about yarn that has fancy things on it, right? Like, how do you take care of that? Like, how do you handle it when you crochet with it? Save money on yarn. How do you do that? Oh my gosh, here's possible. Yarn substitutions, yarn lots. Okay, what do you do if you have, let's say you have a giant project, right? And your yarn literally ran out, meaning you ran out of yarn and you don't have enough to finish it, aka you lost a yarn chicken. What do you do? Okay, you obviously have to get your yarn again, but the yarn lot number will be different. What do you do? How do you handle this, right? So there are some things that you can do to make sure the effect of it is not so large, because as I said, yarn lots sometimes have different color effects on your yarn. So then how do you use and store your yarn? I'm just mentioning some of these, right? Obviously you can read them. Hopefully you can. I know it's little. Best markers, stitch markers, etc. Important fun facts about yarn and stitches. And there's even more. This is just the first page. Let me show you the next page. Look at all this information. That's a lot of information right here, right? Then of course we go into the next chapter. We also have some, slang, if you want to know what certain things mean. like the abbreviations that you might see sometimes, like frogging, yarn chicken, etc. It's all listed here, and you can kind of see how many pages that is. It's quite a bit of pages, right? Then we have all of this right here, tips to make your crochet look and feel perfect. And I'm talking about all kinds of different tips. This is like a variety of things, like substituting stitches for basic stitches. If you're tired of single, half, double crochet stitches, what can you substitute them with if you have a project that includes them but you don't want to use it? Okay, you're like, I want to mix it up, I want to make my own. Okay, then of course, what's the difference between shell, cluster, popcorn, bobble, and puff stitch? I'm thinking about kind of going through that next few days. Let me know if you're interested. Okay, anyways, there's so much more in here. Then also, of course, circle, stitch anatomy. Then we have buttons, triangles, ovals, yarn over versus yarn under, what to do with leftover yarn, buttonholes, border and edges. That was one of you guys were asking about that. Borders and edges. Like, okay, how do I take care of that? How do I go into it, right? Crocheting, the weaving in ends, gauge, taking care of your yarn, the fabric you created, all kinds of other things. Let me show you the very last page here. Okay, there is so much information. Here it's literally project-based tips and tricks. So we're talking about amigurumi, certain tips about amigurumi that you may have never seen before. Then different types of flowers and arrangements, how to crochet certain things, how to take care of them, right? Then, or how to put them together, right? How to make it more stable, anything like that. Then color changing techniques. There are 9 of them right there. Then we also have other techniques like filet crochet, linked crochet, thermo crochet. Then how to combine linked and thermo crochet, corner to corner. Then we're talking about graphgans and scarves and cowls and blankets and hats and tissue box covers and French seam and slippers and lining and all kinds of other things. Like literally anything you might want to think about, oh my gosh, it's in there. Okay, so but that's not the only thing in there. The other thing that's in here, and I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail, is the links that you have in it. Okay, so there's a lot of information and sometimes you need a more visual representation. So for example, here in this little graphic, you can see that I have links within the ebook, so you can tap it and jump to the video tutorial. There's more than 100 video tutorials included, so you tap and jump when you use it digitally. Of course, it doesn't work when you print it out, right? But it works if it's digitally, right? And the other thing is it has, of course, these printable templates that you can use over and over again, and it has a little main menu button, so you can boop, bang, jump your way back whenever you are in your content. So are you guys ready to see some of this? Oh, Gina just bought it. Let's go. Hang on, I gotta celebrate. Woohoo! If you already got it, let me know. I gotta celebrate you. Oh my gosh, you were fast. Some of you guys actually got it before I went live. I've seen some of you guys were like, I already found it, what Nikki's talking about. All right, then we have Jennifer also got it. Let's go, Jennifer. All right, ooh, Sandra too. Who else? Who else? How many times can I celebrate you? Yay! I'm so happy for you. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about when I say videos, okay? So you are literally getting video tutorials with it. So you tap, you jump, and then you get the video tutorial. You don't have to search anything. This is literally, think of this, your go-to crochet tips encyclopedia. I almost think about it as your 24/7 personal assistant. So you go through certain types of projects all the time, but many times we have questions, right? And when we have a question, we need an answer, right? So the very first thing I highly recommend you do is go to this ebook. You go through it and figure out, can I learn it in there? And have this feeling that most of your questions are answered in this ebook. I literally went through years and years of my experience and put all my knowledge into it. Everything I have in here were put into this ebook. It is amazing. Seriously, most of you guys usually are blown away once you see it. All right, we also have some other people who got it. Let's go. Susan did. Yes, Christy, I saw it right before I went live. You already got it. Christy got it. Natalie did. Yarn Arts Priya, I think. Sarah. All right, who else got it? You guys tell me. Some of you guys are getting it a little later. It's totally fine. You still have a few days with the coupon code. Take advantage of it. All right, so actually, let me show you the inside. You guys are ready to see the inside a little bit? Because I have this feeling you might want to see it. Okay, I have it here printed out. Okay, I want to show you. This is my book printed. Do you guys see how thick this is? Okay, we're talking 284 pages long. Okay, this is a lot of pages. Okay, and to make it look pretty, by the way, I do want to point out a couple of things. Okay, first of all, here in the very beginning or until a certain amount of pages, you will see the main menu button, okay? But when we get to the templates like this, I removed it because obviously I know you're going to want to print it out, right? And you're going to want to use it. You don't want to have a main menu button like sitting right there when you want to print it, right? Like that would look funky. So I removed it for those pages. But I want to kind of show you, this is one of my favorite row round stitch counters. So if you print this out, okay, and you laminate it, that's what I would recommend doing. Or if you have like an erasable pen, like I have erasable pen, so I can use this over and over again, you can literally keep track of your stitches. So for example, again, if it's laminated with dry erase markers, you can just use your finger to, you know, get rid of it. So let's say you're starting out, like you make 10 stitches, right? Then once you do go to 10, you check it off. Okay, let's say you make 10 more, then you go to 20, check it off, right? 30, check it off. But what if the pattern has 45? Then you go to 40 and then you click here and then you check it off over here, it's 45. Or let's say it's 612, right? You do 610 and 2, things like that, right? So you can use this over and over again for this. Okay, Cassie, let's see, there's some questions here. Gigi, wonderful question. Gigi, let's read it out loud. I have your 600 tips ebook. Is there much in this ebook that isn't in the old one? I have a hard time with everything that sometimes it's ready to give up. I totally get it. Okay, so Gigi, yes, there's a lot of content added. So obviously I say more than 900 tips, okay? So I added all of these templates that were not in the previous one, that were all added here. You will not see them in the previous version. All of these templates, more than 50 templates, were not in the previous version. On top of that, I added a lot of extra content. They summarize it. It comes more than 150 extra pages from the previous version. So 600 tips as 136 pages. This one has 284 pages. I know that sounds like a big number, can be overwhelming. So think about it. This is a lot of extra content that was added. So like the entire section in terms of amigurumi, color tips, all of these different techniques, all of that was added. There's a lot of additional content added in between, such as how to take care of certain projects, you know, joining things. There's a lot of content added, or substitution in yarn and stitches. All of that was added. You know, the entire front section of the ebook is new. So like benefits of yarn and crocheting and history and all that stuff. Like there's a lot of extra content in here. We even have project levels, pattern notes, tips, that was in there. Okay, we have extra things in here. Learn to read a pattern is in here. Different types of projects in terms of bobbins, stitches, how to take care of them, you know, the experiment, all of that is new in here. So there's a lot of new value added. So if you have 600 tips, you get to keep it. It's not going anywhere, okay? It is now archived. It's now, you know, done. You can't buy 600 tips anymore, but it is now over 900 tips. So I hope that answers your question. It's a lot of extra value added, okay? So let's see. Donna just got it too. Let's go. Woohoo! We also have, let's see, there was a question. Linda says, I have 600 tips and this is totally new. Yes, 100% new. Ooh, I forgot to turn this off. Let's see. Cassie has a question. Can we get it printed as well as electronic? Okay, so first of all, I only sell the ebook, but I added a tutorial into it so you can print it out yourself. I would not recommend printing this at, let's say, Office Depot or something like that. Do this at home. Printers are very affordable. Paper is very affordable. And with a certain certain printer, it's even more affordable. Like I have a printer, I haven't changed my ink in over a year. So it's very affordable to print it out yourself. And because you don't want to do this on someone with, you know, like a company, they're going to add quite a bit extra. It's a lot of money to print this out. And in fact, Amazon wouldn't even let me print this and sell it that way because it's too many pages. Okay. They wouldn't do it. So I highly recommend using, first of all, the digital version feels like a learning program. So you can use it to tap and click. That's a lot more useful. I have it printed too, because I kind of like to have it handy. But when I then want to watch the videos, I use my digital file. So it's like a 2-in-1, right? So you can have the digital file, and that's what you actually purchase when you are getting it. And then you have the option to print it if you wanted to, right? But it's not coming up on that way. Like when you buy it, you don't buy the printed version. You get to print it out yourself, if that makes sense, right? It is literally like a 4-in-1. I mean, it's really, really cool. Brenda has a question. What kind of printer do you have? Email me. I do not know the name because I don't look at that all the time. I don't remember. So, what is it? I don't even know what brand it is. Email me and I'll give you the link. Okay. No worries. Happy to do that. Just email me and I'll take care of you. No worries at all. Okay. So let's see. Donna says, if we buy the book and you update it, do I have to Okay. So I'm not going to update this for a long time. Okay. This is going to stay this way for a long time. So, think about this like a book. Let's say a book that you have read. Okay. Let's say, I'm making this up right now. What do I say? Let's say it's, all my books are blank in my head right now. Onyx Storm is one. I haven't read it, but think of Onyx Storm. Okay. Onyx Storm is a book that came out, and let's say you read the book and then the author noticed, oh, there are some typos in there. We're going to put out a new edition. That does not mean you're going to get the exact same book as the same. Like there's no replacement of it. Okay. They don't just give you a replacement. You have to buy the new edition. And that's kind of how this works here. Plus I added so much extra content to it. I mean, you can't even compare that to regular books when they have a new edition, right? And you can't compare that. So there's so much extra content added in here. It is worth just getting that, right? Because you have so much extra value in it that you did not have available previously. Okay. I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to explain it the best way. Okay. Beverly just got it. Let's go. Yay. And then we have Jazz also. Who else got it? I'm like looking through. Carol. She couldn't wait any longer. She got an ebook too. Let's go. Did I miss anyone? I don't want to miss anyone. Oh, Laura did too. Who else did? I'm trying to figure out if there's anyone. If I missed you and I haven't celebrated you yet, just put it in the comments again and I'll celebrate you. I want to make sure I celebrate everyone. You guys need to be celebrated. Okay, so this is the printed version I have. This is my version that I printed out myself at home. You can do the exact same thing. I have a tutorial when you go download it. So right below the download section of the ebook, there's a tutorial in there on how you can make this yourself with all the tools that I used. I literally put it all there. In fact, I'm actually going to put my printer there too. That's going to make it easier for everyone. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and add the link to my printer. That way you know what I use, right? So you literally print it out, okay? And then you just add the spiral on it and you're good to go. In fact, I even have these clear things here that are kind of protectors. I put them in the back because there's a glare to it, as you can see. But they kind of protect it, right? So you can just put it on top. It's really, really cool. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys are blowing me up here. Wow. Like, boom. Brenda got it. Tammy did. Lorette did. Did I miss anyone else? Oh my gosh. PZ Pierce. I'm not sure if I said this right. Okay. This is a great question. Crafty Christy says, are there patterns? No, not directly. I mean, it's kind of a yes, but it's also a no. Let me explain. So for example, actually I want to show you. Okay. This is a great question. So does it have a specific pattern? Like for example, the basket behind me? No, it does not. However, it does have things like, the granny squares, for example. Let me see. Where was granny squares? I gotta look at it myself. I don't know the page numbers. Where are my granny squares? Hang on. Let's go through it. Granny squares right here. 110. So let's go over there. 110. Let's see. It is Right here. Okay, so you're going to get like, here's a granny square, right? So you get the video tutorials with it. This is large font. This is size 14, right? So you get the graphs with it, you get tutorials with it, all broken down. And this is for some of the things, right? This is actually something I want to kind of teach you. What do you guys think about doing some granny square tips in the next few days? That would be fun too, because there are some ways to get something really, really fun happening here. There's some tips right here to have it like crisp and clean, right? Then of course you also get the solid granny squares. So yes, there are some kind of traditional patterns in here, if that makes sense. But then there's also tutorials like how to make your own portrait like this, right? So you get like a tutorial with that. Then we also have, you know, filet crochet in it. So I mean, if you want to consider that a pattern, feel free to do so, like this, right? It's kind of included. So you get these graphs with it so you can kind of practice on it. So I guess some of it, yes. You know, it's like a yes and no question, if that makes sense. Like you get general type of patterns with it, but just to explain all the different tips, right? You even get like different techniques and all kinds of different things to make your life better. I mean, it is literally, or here, like yarn, stitch substitution, right? For different types of stitches. I even added some motivational quotes into it. So just that you have that too. Yarn obsession. And of course, yarn, like note taking, different types of techniques, how to make things better. I mean, it's literally like, see, I even added like circles, like you have the tutorials for that as well. I mean, there's so much included in just that. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Elizabeth says, I don't know how to get the ebook. Oh, no worries, girl. I'm going to put it into the comments right now. This is the link right there. You can scan that too. I just popped the link into the comments. Okay. So that way you can just tap it and jump kind of thing, if that makes sense. So once you're there, there's going to be a button like, okay, tap here to buy, or, you know, click here if you want the 900 tips kind of thing. So you're going to tap that. It takes you to the checkout page, and that's where you're going to purchase it. And don't forget to add that coupon code to get $15 off until the 25th of June, okay, of 2025. That's how long that's valid. So all you're going to do is tap the link that I just popped in the comments. So it looks like this, right? I just popped that in, and you're going to tap that. It should be able to be clickable in the comment section, and then you can jump and purchase from there. All right, we have some more people that got it. Let's see. We have Strokes of Magic. I kind of like that name. I love that. Who else did? Hang on, I got to go up. There was a few more that did, right? Let's see. Oh, I got to remove this. Otherwise, it's going to make me dizzy. Let's see. Gigi says, this is a great idea. I need a printer, so I'll wait for yours. Yes, I'll add that right after this live. I add the link. No worries. Love the ebook. We'll be printing it as we speak. Yay! I love it for you. I'm so happy. Yes, granny square tips. Okay, you guys want to see those? Yes, we're going to do some demonstration on that. Okay, I'm really, really excited. Okay, so let's see. Was there something else? Let's see. I would love granny square tips, particularly to join them. That's actually something I was thinking about doing. Is I have my little list here on the side. So you guys tell me. Okay, let's talk about some of the things I want to do in the next few days. I'm going to go live in the next few days. We're going to give away more prizes. Today we have prizes. We're also going to give away some prizes in the next few days. Okay, so my list says, and you guys let me know if there's something you don't want to do. Well, we're going to cross it out and do something else. Okay, I was thinking about talking about yarn, you know, different types of fibers, how to take care of it, things like that. And we're going to reference this book right here so you know exactly what I'm talking about is true. I mean, obviously I wrote it, but yes, it is true. I promise you. Okay, so different types of yarn, anything about yarn. And you guys said yes on that already. Then I wrote down on my little sheet, I wrote down granny squares and joining, all kinds of tips, just like Emily's asking for. Perfect. I already had it on my list. The other one I had on my list was the difference between shells, clusters, popcorn, baubles, puff stitch, because that is something that people get confused all the time. And I think that we're going to incorporate some symbols into it, because I think this will help you. So it's going to be like a combination of talking about symbols as well as the difference between the stitches. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. I need to know. And the last one I was thinking about would be buttonholes and knots. I was kind of thinking about combining that. I was first thinking about adding the knots into the yarn, but yarn has so much information already that would be overwhelming. So I was thinking about adding the buttonholes with knots together. So that would be fun. What do you guys think? Is there something else you want to talk about that is in this ebook? I'm going to literally take information from this ebook and teach it to you, but only a few fractions of it, right? Because we're talking about over 900 tips. There's no time to do this all in one video, right? There's no way to do that. Okay, so you guys tell me, do those subjects sounds about right that you guys kind of want to talk about? We can do that, right? Let's see. Someone wants to know about granny hexagons. You know what? I'm going to bring that up. It's not really in the ebook, but if you remind me when we're going to talk about granny squares, I'll bring it up so you know how to do that as well, because it's not that hard, okay? Like to make a hexagon using the well, it's like a granny square style. That's pretty much what I would consider it. A granny square means you're working from the inside out. That's what a granny square is. It doesn't have to have the granny stitch. It doesn't have to look like a granny square, like the traditional. Granny square just means center out, right? You're working some kind of square from the center out, right? So, and a hexagon can be done the same way, and that's what you see a lot, right? Let's see. Color pooling, I did not include because there's a whole science behind it. It's very frustrating. I did not add color pooling because of that, because it is so frustrating, and some of the yarns just don't work for color pooling. So there's too much of wiggle room on it that I did not include it because it can be too frustrating. And if I tell you a certain formula, you try it out and you're going to be frustrated. That's exactly why I didn't include it. Color pooling is a whole another thing. You don't want to talk about that, okay? It's, in my opinion, it's not even worth it. You can make so much prettier things with all kinds of different yarns. Color pooling is not necessary. Okay, let's see. Sandra says, do you have tutorials on zippers and lining? Yes, girl, yes! It's actually at the very end. Oh my gosh, I'm actually going to show you. Look, right here at the very end is the last page of the ebook, right? The table of contents. So, Rick, these are the table of content pages, right? You look at the very end here, okay? Slippers, lining, French seam, and sew on the lining. That includes, by the way, the zipper. So yes, it's in there. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Do you have to laminate one page at a time? Dina, that's a great question. Okay, this, first of all, I would not do it for the entire ebook, unless you absolutely want to, but that's a lot of lamination. I would do it for the pages of these templates that you absolutely want to use. Like only print those out that you are using over and over again, or the feel like you want to use over and over again. You can always print them out again if you need to, right? And only laminate those. And obviously I would probably not do a double-sided unless you're okay with that. I made it here double-sided so it feels like a book. But you can just print it out one page at a time, right? And then laminate it that way. You laminate whatever you want, right? This is up to you, but I would probably laminate some of the things that I'm going to use over and over again. And in fact, like for example, this, like the handmade gift tracker right here, just as an example, you can print it out like 10 times. Let's say you have 10 gifts that you're working on. Print it out 10 times. So that way you have it for every gift. You have one tracker. Does that make sense? Right? You even have your favorite stitches, where you learned it from. So you have like a handy little guide, wish list, favorite patterns, so you can really keep track of things. You even get these ones here. These ones are great to print out and cut out. Don't laminate these. I mean, you could, but then do it for the little guys, not the entire thing, right? And you cut this out. You could laminate one little one, and then you can add it to your project. So you always can keep track of what pattern is this, hook size, brand, yarn hook, hook brand, yarn brand, whatever it is, write it down. It's really, really cool all in one. Okay, let's see. We have some more people that got it. Woohoo! Kelly did. Let's see. There was something else. Louise, yay! Okay, if you got it, you let me know, okay? Let's see. There's another question from Cassie. Do you know how to microwave dye fabric? I added some dyeing stuff into it, but I did not. I'm never going to talk about microwaving. That can just, I did not. I think I added some stuff into it and how to dye yarn in certain ways, but not with the microwave. I did not include that. And that can be a little dangerous for some yarn. I would not do that. Let's see. Was there another question I may have missed? I'm going up here. Plaid is in there, Sharon. Yes, there's plaid inside. Yes, it's included. It's included. Actually, I can show you so you know where it is. Look, it's right there. It's under the color changing techniques. Plaid, it's right there. Yes. Let's see. Do you have tips on printing double-sided paginations? I assume you're talking about where the page numbers are. Well, mine are always on the right, even though I printed it out. It doesn't like flop it over. It's not like a traditional book, right? Because the idea is that it's like a PDF, it's an ebook. So if you have it on your tablet, you just scroll through and you have the page numbers always on the right. Now, if you print it out, you're going to have one side where the page number is on the left and then one on the right. So if you want it double-sided, there's a print option. Any printer has that. So if you click on your desktop, your mobile device, on your tablet, whenever you click print, there's an option for double-sided. You just have to turn that on and it'll print it double-sided. Done deal. Okay, so let's see. Strokes of Magic. I use mine as a page protector. Yes, you can do that too. If you don't want to laminate things, that's a great idea. I haven't used page protectors in a long time. I don't even have them at home. But yes, that's another great alternative if you don't want to laminate. Of course, and you can just swap it in and out. Of course, go for it. Do whatever you wish. It's your personal usage pretty much, right? Okay, so let's see. Is plaid 2 colors? Typically it's 3 colors. Typically, plaid is in 3 colors. Unless it's filet crochet, then it's 1 color. Yes, you can imitate plaid using filet crochet. Did you know that? Yes, you can. It's not per se mentioned in here, but once you do filet crochet and you're going to look at my other patterns I have, then you're going to know what I'm talking about. But yes, you could technically do plaid and filet crochet with 1 color, but usually if we're talking about graph cans or something like that, like I'm talking about, you know, tapestry, Antargia. Do you know the difference between it? Because it's talked about in here. But that's typically 3 colors. Plaid cannot be done in 2 colors. It has to be 3 colors. Okay. There's even ways to make it even more, but usually it's 3 colors. All right. Was there another question that I missed? Katie, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I'm German. I will mispronounce it. I don't want to butcher your name. So I love your name. I'm just going to go with Dino because that's in your profile picture. Okay. You said so increasing, decreasing on measuring garments. I did not include a lot of garment information in here because I'm not a garment designer. That's the one thing I did not include. Again, I'm not a garment designer. That you would have to ask a garment designer. However, I did add a lot of information in terms of measurements. So if you want to measure certain things, like I have shawls in there and cowls and things like that, like regular garments, like accessory garments, yes. But in terms of tops and cardigans and stuff, I did not include those. So, but I do have increases and decreases mentioned, plenty of time in there, like a lot of tips on that for sure. All kinds of different techniques. Okay, so let's see. Some printers do not have the double-sided option. That is true, but all new printers, if you've gotten a printer within the last 15 years, I promise you they have a double-sided option. If you have a really, really old printer, yes, I would agree with that. But I know anything over the last 15 years, maybe even longer, they all have the double-sided option. There is no printer out there that doesn't, as far as I know. I have never seen one that does not have that feature. Okay, so let's see. I think I answered most of you guys' question. Am I right? I got like, sweet. All right. So I want to actually show you some of the reviews I have gotten previously because I know you guys are probably interested in that, what some other crocheters are saying. So let me show you. So how about we do these two? Okay. We have here Becky that she says, I feel like a VIP in knowing I have lifetime access to so much information at my fingertips. Yes. She's talking about this ebook. Okay. I have often learning new stitches and crochet skills. I feel like there's something missing. At other times, I just need a quick reminder of something I already have learned. And either way, this is a unique collection, is perfect. Love the ongoing add-ons that we included. Yes. Then we also have Kathy, and she says, I accessed the ebook from the download on my laptop, and it all went smoothly. I love hearing that. It was way more than I could read in one day. That's a lot of information for one day. I still have some pages to go. Yes, we're talking about 284 pages. So much info and videos. Yes, over 100 video tutorials included. Clearly written, easy to follow. Video links are great for me because I learn the best by doing things while someone demonstrates. Yes, and a lot of things are included for videos because I know that some of the things might be hard to understand unless you see a video, right? For me, this is the right amount of detail and lots of new tips that I didn't even know before. Cassie, I agree. There's so much information here. You're going to be surprised how much content is in here. All right, what do you guys think? Is this something for you? I mean, who wouldn't want that? This is a lot of information, right? Okay, so Sarah says, I love it. Yay! I'm so happy. Okay, I think it is time to do some prizes. What do you guys think? Is it time for some prizes? Because I want to give away some prizes. But before we do that, I want to give you guys really quickly some information. Okay, so remember, this is the ebook, okay? We're going to talk about that again in the next few days, okay? Over and over again, because obviously we have only a few days for the sales. We got to remember that. However, I will be teaching you some things, as I just mentioned. So even if you got the ebook already, I highly recommend you come back, right? Because we're going to give away prices on top of that. So for example, tomorrow, we're going to talk about yarn. All different types of yarn fibers, how to take care of them, things like that you need to know about yarn. We're going to do that tomorrow. Now, the other ones, I haven't gotten the real schedule yet, but I'm going to tell you we're going to do granny squares and all kinds of joining on that. Then what else did I say? Clusters, shells, and all that stuff. And then we did we're going to do buttonholes and knots as well. So those are the things, not in particular those orders. Okay, we're going to do those in the next few days. And I'm going to teach you those things so you know some of the information that's in this ebook. Think of it like a sneak peek into it and learning it firsthand right here with me, your designer. I mean, by the way, in case I didn't mention it, you can always email me if you have a question. I mean, how often can you email an author and you get instant answers? Just that you know, if you feel like you are looking for something in the ebook, you can always email me and say, hey, Nikki, I have this problem. Is this in this ebook? Let me know where I can find it, especially if you already bought it. Obviously, then you're going to need to know where it is, and I'll guide you to it. You can always email me. No worries, okay? But I want you to take advantage of this. So come back in the next few days because I'm going to teach you something. We're going to talk about tips again, this ebook, of course, and we're going to give away prices. So this is a big one for you. Take a screenshot if you haven't done it yet. Okay. So Elizabeth has a little question there, girl. She got it. Woohoo! That's the first celebration. Okay, Elizabeth says she cannot download to her computer. Okay, so first of all, I promise you, you can. Everyone can. All you got to do is tap it. Now, once you tap it, it automatically downloads to your download folder. Be aware it's a larger file. It may take a second to appear there, but it doesn't open first. It goes right away into your download folder, so that way you don't lose it, okay? Like instantly goes there. So you tap and download. So once you pretty much, and you have to be logged in, of course, you're going to get login information. It's typically your email address is both the username and password until you change it. That's the default. So once you logged in, you go into the area where it says downloads, then you tap it and it goes right into your download folder. That's how this works. Got it? That's how this works. Okay. And you can always email me if you have another question. Okay. She took a screenshot. Yay, Arrow, let's go. Okay, so let's see. Was there another question? Susan says, if I download a book, I always re-download after the week. Yes, I do agree with that because I will add those videos into it. So yes, good girl, Susan. Yes, I always recommend you do that because whatever I'm teaching you in the next few days, the videos are going to be added into the ebook. Why would I not add them? I mean, their information's in the ebook. I'm going to add it. Of course, I'm going to do that. Yes. Some computers have external storage. Yeah, that doesn't matter though, because whatever your setting is on your computer, that's where the downloads go. So wherever your downloads go, that's where it's going to go. Okay. All right. Karen got it. Let's go. Karen got it. Woohoo. Okay. So now let's do prices. Are you guys ready? Okay. We have 12 winners to announce. Okay. So do you guys remember we talked about 12 winners? 4 different categories, 3 winners each. Okay, so we're going to go through it one at a time. So we're going to start with our email signups. Okay, so everyone in the first 9 people are all going to get this ebook for free. Okay, for those 9 winners. Now the last 3 is going to be different. I'll show you that later. Okay, so if you are in this list and you just got the ebook, you're just going to get a different ebook in exchange, an ebook of your choice. Okay, let me take a sip. Okay, it's getting dry back there. Okay. Kedina, you have a question. Is there a search option? Not directly because it's a PDF. There is a way to search something. If you use a PDF reader, then there's a search option there. Like within a PDF reader, it can read your PDF. That's why it's called a PDF reader. And there's a search option within it. So if you're using a PDF reader, then yes, it can search because it looks for the words. Okay. But typically it's not like searchable. It's not like, how do I explain it? It's not like a vault where you can search something. It's a PDF. Okay. So, and you can always email me if you have a question, Kadina. I think I said your name right. Paulette just got it. Woohoo! Paulette! Yay! Okay. Now let me show you the 3 winners. Are we ready? Okay. So these 3 winners come directly from the email sign up. Let me remind you, especially if you forgot to do that, whenever I have a mystery crochet along, even live crochet alongs, if you sign up, then you're going to be part of this category right here. You have to sign up with your full name, and that way I can literally grab you and say, okay, here we go. Here's you have just won. If you only gave me your first name, I cannot pick you because there's many people who have the same first name as you. I need to have your last name because I got to display it. Okay. So always full name and email address. That's how you had to sign up for this mystery crochet along. And if you did, good. I just grabbed 3 winners. So are you guys ready to see them? Okay, here are the 3 winners for this email sign up. These are our 3 winners. So let's do some celebration. Woohoo! Yay! Okay, these are 3 winners. I will not pronounce your names because some of you guys I cannot pronounce. My apologies. Like the first one. I think it's no, I'm not going to do it. Okay, we have Sylvia and Linda. I can't even pronounce those. So the first one I can't. Okay, so these 3 winners, by the way, all the winners have to email me so that way I can get you access to this ebook or a different ebook of your choice. I have like 32 different ebooks, so there's a way to pick one in case you already bought this one. So no worries, okay? These are the first 3 winners. Yay! Congratulations! Thank you guys for all saying that too, so I'm not the only one celebrating them. All right, let's go to the next section. Okay, so this is our first section right here. Where's my hand? Right here. Let's go to the next section. The next section comes directly from YouTube. Remember, you guys had to answer some questions during those video tutorials and you left them in the comment section. So I grabbed 3 people that commented in the videos, okay, or below in the comment section. So I have 3 winners picked. Those are your usernames that pop up. So obviously you have to email me. Ideally also proof that you are who you are because some of you guys have really funky names. Okay, so let's see. Elizabeth, if you still have trouble with the downloads, please just email me later and I will take care of you. No worries. I will make it work for you. You will have the file by the end of the day if you email me, okay? So no worries about that. Just email me. Okay, so let's go through the winners. Here are the 3 winners that also will get this ebook if they haven't bought it yet. Okay, they get it for free, or you get a different ebook of your choice if you already got it. So these are our 3 winners right here. I will not pronounce them because some of you guys I don't know. Like the first name, I'm not even sure if that's a name. Viewer, I don't know. Okay, I picked literally random people because I wanted anyone to have a chance. We have Cynthia here. I do know how to do this, and Gina, I think. So you guys just won this ebook or an ebook of your choice. Yay! I'm so excited. Okay, so then we'll have another section. Congratulations to those 3. So we have 6 winners already announced. Are you ready for the next 3? Okay, the next 3 is coming directly. Ooh, why is this? Oh yeah, I put it that high. The next one's coming directly from the Mystery Crochet Along winners for those who finished it. I don't care how you finished it. Remember, I said that. It doesn't matter how you finish it. It just had to look finished. Whatever you consider to be finished, right? As I said, some of you guys added all kinds of fun things like flowers and straps and drawstrings, all kinds of beads even. Whatever you considered finished was considered finished, right? So I picked 3 random winners and I'm going to show them off. I'm actually going to show off their entire picture so you can see them too. Okay, here are our 3 winners. We have Cynthia. I hope that's not the same Cynthia. If it is the same, I'm going to pick another person to win. We have Elfie. I think this is right. I'm saying this right. And we have Emily. Emily, you're here. I just realized that's the same Emily. All right, we have these three right here. Congratulations. I am so excited. Okay, I forgot to click my button. All right, look at these different ones. This one has a drawstring. It has buttons. And I don't know, is this straps? I can't even tell. This is really cool. There's some other things in here. I feel like this is really, really cool. And then we have this one, which I think is a perfect way to display it. Look at that. Yes, this looks like it's perfect for either your desk or for like, you know, a guest bathroom. This is great for travels too, Cynthia. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So these three are also going to get this ebook. Unless you bought it already, then it's an ebook of your choice. So congratulations. Yay. I am so happy for you. Okay. Elizabeth, by the way, did you hear me? I just want to make sure you heard me. Elizabeth, I will be helping you if you email me. Okay. No worries about that. By the end of the day, you will have your PDF, and I just need to make sure that you purchased it and then we're good to go and I get you access. No worries. Just email me. Okay. All right. Those are our first 9 winners. Yay. We got the first 9 done. Okay. Remember we said we have 12. So we have 3 more to go. Well, those 3 are going to be slightly different because I said all crocheters are invited to this party because now's your chance to answer some questions live here so that you have a chance to win something. By the way, I didn't realize we almost have 100 people here. I usually don't look at my numbers. I just looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, because it's the button next to my questions. We almost 100 people here. Hello, everyone. Okay, so Cynthia says, yes, you picked me twice. Okay, then I will pick another winner and I will email them so that they can get their ebook too. No worries, that happens. Let's see. Christy also has trouble downloading. Then you email me, girl, and I will take care of you. No worries about that, okay? I will take care of anyone who has trouble downloading. No worries. Just email me. I'll take care of you. Okay, so let's go to the questions, but first we got to show off the prices. So what do you have the chance to win? Okay, I'm going to show to you. We have our little spinny wheel right here, okay? And the spinny wheel will decide of what you're going to win. So you can win a $10, $20, or $30 Ravelry coupon code from my Ravelry store. Also a 5 or 10 PDF patterns of your choice, also from my Ravelry store. This is just of the options, right? You also can get a $10, $15, or $20 off an ebook that is currently not on sale, or a completely free ebook of your choice. And then we also have something called a yarn goodie box. So let me show you really quickly what that looks like in case you missed our really cool promotion a couple weeks ago. This is what I'm talking about, okay? Let me show you really quickly, okay? So these yarn boxes typically only go out 5 times a year for a special promotion for those who join as a new annual member during that special promotion. Otherwise, you can't get this unless you win it, okay? So if the spinning wheel lands on it, then you're gonna win it, right? So let me show you what's on the inside, just that you know, in case you missed it. Okay, this is for the Crochet Club. So you're gonna get a drawstring bag. We have like 3 different types of drawstring bags. They all say the Crochet Club on it, but in different ways. So some of them are fabric, some of them are like plastic, so like waterproof. It really depends. You're going to get a little cute cheat sheet, TCC times. I feel like it's a little dark. Let me make it a little brighter. All right. So TCC times with some coupon codes and things. You're going to get this. There's only like 5 boxes left with these. So if I'm running out, then it's going to be something else. And there are some special goodies. But I have 5 of these left, like 5 sets of these 3 together, 5 of them. Okay, so this is a quick gauge, very handy tool. These are some stitch markers that look like kitty cats. And then we have this cute little tin right here. So I have 5 of these boxes left. So we'll see. Maybe one of you guys gets it. We obviously have some business cards in here. We have stickers and a tapestry needle. And then we also have one of these you're going to get. It's one of these. So this is a pop socket, something you put on the back of your phone. It's really cool so that you can hold your phone properly, right? You can put your finger in it if you want to do that. You can put it on the side so you can watch movies or me teaching you. The other option would be this is a surprise which one you would get if you're going to get one of these boxes. Okay, so this is a cool little clip. A lot of people use it for yarn, I guess. It has a magnet on the back. I use it on my my fridge, but you can use whatever you want with it, right? And also a measuring tape. That is a keychain too. Yay! And we have some mystery yarn. It's typically one skein, like a larger skein. It's up to 200 grams. So it's usually 1 to 200 grams. I usually pick some really cool yarns that I have available. Sometimes yarn that I get for free from companies. Those ones that I'm not going to use, but they're still really cool. Those are the ones that come in there. So just that you know. Okay, so let's see. Brenda says it comes corrupt. That usually means there was an internet issue and you need to re-download. Okay, so that's usually what it means, but you can always email me again. Okay, I mean, you can see that some of you guys were able to download it. It usually means there's an internet interruption and it didn't download completely, and then you're trying to open the file, but it's not done, so it can't open it. Okay, so you guys just email me. Anyone who has trouble with the downloads, email me. It is a larger file, so it can happen. Okay, so it's a larger file, especially if you have a slow internet connection, then it can happen. No worries. By the end of the day, you will have it. Just email me. I will check that you purchased it and I get you access. No worries about that. Just email me. Okay, so let's go to our questions. We got 3 questions to go. Okay, so that means we have 3 more winners to announce, and I don't know who they are. It depends on who says the correct answer, and it's going to be random. All right, here we go. So the quick questions are going to be popping up right here. You're going to typey the answer really quickly, and then the spinny wheel will decide what you win. It will depend. So one of you guys will win, okay? If you just won recently within the last month, don't answer. Give everyone else a chance, okay? And plus, if you are going to answer the question, only one answer per question. If I see you answer multiple times, I will not even pick you because that's not fair. And that's little, you know, we're not going to get into it, but that's the point, right? One answer per question. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, here's question number 1. How many video tutorials are in this ebook? Ooh, do you remember? I know you do. This is an easy question. I pick really good numbers to make sure you can remember it. I know you do. How many video tutorials are in this ebook? How many video tutorials are in this ebook? That just kind of reminds me just now. I'm live at the same time. So if you're watching me live right now, that's a lot of internet usage. If you're trying to download it at the same time while you're watching a live, it might not work. So maybe try to download it after the live. And again, if you have trouble downloading it, just email me. As I said, it's a larger file, so it can happen. It's not an issue, okay? All right, I see a lot of good answers already. Here we go. I see all the correct answers. I love it. Okay, one of you guys is about to win, okay? So I'm going to remove the question, and we're going to pick a random winner. How do we do that? I'm going to cover my eyes, and my mouse is going to decide. I will check, though, first that it's the correct answer. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? I'm going to scroll up and down, and here we go. We're going to find our winner. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to stop right. I'm going to stop right here. We have Jennifer Bendler. Hang on, I got to show off my kitty cat. Yay, Jennifer, congratulations. Okay, let's see what you won. The spinny wheel will decide what Jennifer wins. Okay, is it going to work? Spin. There we go. It's spinning. Okay, let's see what Jennifer won. Jennifer won a $30 Rabbit coupon code. Woohoo! Congratulations, Jennifer. All right, we have 2 more winners to go, which means 2 more questions. All right, so let's do that. We're going to go to question number 2. Are you guys ready? Are your fingers warm? Are they warm to type it up? All right, question number 2 is, how many tips are in this ebook? Yes, I'm going to go through those. You got to know about that. How many tips are in this ebook? When you get it, you got to know how many tips there are in there. I mean, you have a little hint on the screen, actually more than one. So let's see if you remember. It's very close to the bunny on it. Do you see my bunny in my screen? It's very close to that. All right, let's see if you remember. How many tips are included in this ebook? That reminds me, I need to take a sip of my coffee. I mean, I could just take water, but might as well have some flavor with it. Flavor is usually better than water, right? I mean, technically it's water too. It's just mixed with flavor. Anyways, let's see. It looks like most of you guys have the correct answer. Woohoo! All right, keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right, I'm going to remove this now. I always have to talk a little bit because there's a time delay. I apologize. I know it's boring. But you also are typing, right? So it takes a second to type things up. Although the answers are quick. So here we go. I'm going to cover my eyes. Let's find our winner. My mouse is in the right position. And I'm going to scroll up and down. And let's find our winner. I don't even know how far I need to go. I need to make sure I'm not going in the same area from question 1. I'm going to scroll back down and back up. I like to kind of go many different directions. Okay, here we go. I'm going to stop right. How about here? We have Natalie Walters. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I went too high. Let's go back down. Hang on. See, I went too high. Let's go back down. Hang on. I'm going to do another one. Now, I'm going to stop right here. We have Dina Taylor. Yes, I am so sorry. That's what happens when you scroll too far. Okay, here we go. Congratulations, Dina. Sorry, Natalie, I couldn't pick you because that was the wrong answer for this question. I'm so sorry. Okay, I got to read before I click. I got to remember that. I said it before. I have to read before I click. Okay, Dina, let's see what you want, girl. Okay, it looks like... All right, 10 PDF patterns of your choice. Yay, Dina, congratulations. I am so happy for you. All right, it looks like some of you guys are answering in between. Like they're a little behind in this on the live. I'm glad most of you guys are on time though. All right, we have one more question, you guys. One more question, but that reminds me. Okay, we're going to go live again in the next few days. You better show up for that because we have prizes to give away too. In fact, if we get more than 100 viewers, I'll probably give away 3 prizes. Otherwise, I'll do 2 prizes. You're also going to learn a lot, so it's definitely worth coming just for the learning part of it. But we're also going to talk about this tips ebook again, so that's definitely a big one. So come join us in the next few days for more prizes, for more crochet tips knowledge. We're going to have fun in the next few days. This is our schedule right here. This is Pacific time. Everyone should know how to calculate time zones. If not, use a calculator. There's a Google time zone calculator everywhere, right? Just Google time zone calculator. And this is Pacific time, which is West Coast. Think of LA. I'm not in LA, but a lot of people think of LA. So if you want to calculate from that, so you know your time zone, so you know, okay? So you're going to be on time. Am I right? And of course, I'll give you guys the link. It's going to be in my newsletter too. Okay, so let's go to question number 3. Question number 3 is... how many printable templates are in this ebook? Let's see if you know this one. This is another number I'm looking for. There's so many comments flying in. My system is having a hard time. A very hard time to keep up. All right, how many printables are in this ebook? You guys tell me. I don't know how to take another sip. I'm so sorry. All right, I'm talking a lot. Here we go. Let's see if you guys know this answer. It's our last question for today. Last question for today. And then I'm going to summarize the ebook real quick. And then I'm going to see you back here tomorrow. Let's see. Does everyone know the answer? I see a few of you guys are already jumping in with the answer. I know it's really easy to remember. It's really easy numbers. Really easy numbers. Okay, it looks like most of you guys. I see a couple of incorrect answers. Nikki, remember to read your answer first. Okay, so that way I'm not disappointing anyone. All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. It gives me enough time to remove this because I know there's always a swoop of comments all flying in at the same time. Yeah, the system is weird sometimes. All right, let's see who our winner is. Are you guys ready? I'm going to scroll up and down this time. I'll make sure not to scroll too far. Okay, here we go. Scroll, and let's find our winner. I'm going to scroll back down and back up, and I'm going to stop right here. We have Strokes of Magic. I love your name. Strokes of Magic. Yay, congratulations. 50 plus is the correct answer. Yes, more than 50. Once I hit 50, I was like, it's a plus after. Because we have more than that. Okay, so let's see what Strokes of Magic won. Here we go. The winning prize is... ooh, it's right on the border. Ooh, a free ebook of your choice. Yay, Congratulations! All right, we had 12 winners. That is incredible. That's a lot of people. So let me show you really quickly my email address. This is for anyone who has a question or is a winner. If you're a winner, I need to know in the email subject line, put in winner of the prize and the date. Yes, I need to know the date because some of you guys email me way later. So I need to know the date. Even if you email me today, you are email me and write them down for the winners. Winner of the prize and the date. Please, somewhere in the subject line or the text, I need to know that information. Okay, so please email me. For anyone who has trouble downloading, has a question about the ebook, anything like that, printer, whatever you had a question about, this is my email address. Please email me. That way I can get you your answers or your winning prize depending on what you email me for. Okay, so I will get back to you as soon as I see your email, as soon as I read it, then I will answer. I'm very quickly in answering. My customer service is top notch because I want to make sure everyone is happy. So yes, make sure that you are emailing me. All right, let me remind you really quickly why this ebook is so amazing. It comes with videos. Okay, seriously, think back the last time or even the next time you go to the bookstore, please look at any of the books out there, especially crochet books, and tell me any of them that have videos because I have not seen one of them. Not one of them has video tutorials included. I have more than 100 videos included in this ebook. So this is a big one, okay? Over 284 pages with more than 900 crochet tips, okay? More than 50 printables that you can use like journals, guides, reference tables, anything like that. Large font, pictures, clickable video material list, everything that you could possibly think about is included in this. Let's see. Lisa says, do you have to pick a new winner? I will pick a new winner and I email them and they will know. Okay, I'll pick a random winner for that one person. Yes, I will do that and the person's going to get an email. So no worries. I will take care of that behind the scenes. I will make sure the winner is announced in some kind of way. All right, so let me summarize of what you're getting, okay? You're getting this ebook. There's so much content in here, so much value, way more than it ever was before. Over 900 crochet tips, more than 100 video tutorials. It's ad-free. It is printer friendly, so you can print it out too if you wish. Over 284 pages. It is an interactive PDF ebook. That means it has buttons to click. It has main menu buttons. It has a table of content is clickable. It feels like a learning program. It's like your 24/7 digital assistant, always there. Whenever you have a crochet project that you have some trouble with, you reference that first. It's like your crochet tips encyclopedia that you always have the tip of your finger, and you know that you can always get an answer in there. And if not, you can always email me if there's another question. But there's so much content in here that will really help you for your own personal use, for your own crochet journey to improve your crochet. More than 50 printable templates and journals and trackers and all kinds of things that will help you improve your crochet and keep track of things to make sure that you don't lose things like, stitch count, etc. Help you with your gauge, etc. All kinds of other things. So much information just in that. That's pretty cool. Am I right? All right. So if you want this entire collection, then go grab it. It is right now on sale until the 25th of June. They're $15 off with this link. I'm going to pop it into the comments here one more time just that you have it. And then let me remind you again, I will be going live again in the next few days. So I hope to see you guys there. Learn more crochet tips. Have fun with 900 crochet tips and tricks made easy for you in one ebook. Lots of videos, lots of printables, all made for you. I hope to see you in the next few days. Until then, bye.